Well, this is Once Upon a Non-Time, December 8th. Luke's genealogies are like secret codes. Do you like secret codes? Secret agents use secret codes to pass messages. When one secret agent says, "I need to buy 3 red flowers," the other secret agent knows that he's really saying, "The enemy has 30 tanks." Did you like those genie things, the genealogies? Did you know that those are like secret codes? Luke was saying, here's a big list of dads and grandpas and great-grandpas. But what he was really saying was, God has a message for the whole world. Remember Adam? He was never born, but he was formed by God from the ground, kind of like Play-Doh. Then God breathed into his nostrils, and Adam became a living soul. Adam never had a dad on earth. Adam was never a baby. Adam never had to learn to read or talk or anything. He was like God's son, or at least that's what Luke called him in Luke 3:38. When Luke traced Jesus' mother's lineage, he uncovered some cool secret codes. First, Jesus' birth was a sign to all people, not just the Jews. In the Bible, preachers took the gospel to the Jews first, but they didn't stop there. The gospel, the good news of Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, was for everyone. Tracing the lineage back to Adam meant that all humans can have Christ's free gift of salvation. Second, Jesus was born of a virgin. Normally, the family line comes through the dad. Jesus had no physical dad, though, because sin is passed through the father, and Jesus is perfect. A baby with no dad is impossible with men, but with God, nothing's impossible. Third, Jesus' title was Son of Adam. Being a son of Adam means that Jesus was human, 100% human, somehow. No one's exactly positive how God did it, but God in the person of Jesus became perfectly human. Jesus experienced sadness, fear, and hurt, and was silly too. He had to learn to talk and eat and walk and learn everything a baby learns. He was always God, but he was 100% human. Jesus' title was Son of God. Even though Jesus was 100% human, he was also perfectly 100% God. He was still all-powerful and all-knowing, but chose to limit his power, knowledge, and presence into his physical body as Jesus Christ. Even though the genealogies look like a silly old list of names, each genealogy is actually a secret message. Not so silly anymore, huh? I put at the bottom of today's story the difference between the two genealogies, between Matthew and Luke, being the tracing the mother's line. Matthew is tracing the Jewish lineage of Jesus Matthew is tracing the Jewish lineage of Jesus through the father's line, Joseph's line. The legal adopted father of Jesus was Joseph. But Luke was tracing Jesus' mother's line, I believe. And so Mary came through David's son Nathan, and Joseph came through David's other son Solomon. And Matthew's genealogies were focused on David and Abraham, showing the royalty and the Jewish lineage of Jesus Christ. Whereas Luke's audience was different. He was writing to a broader audience. He was writing to all people. He wasn't necessarily writing to just a Jewish audience. So even in the genealogies, his genealogies, Luke's genealogies, focus on the gospel being able to be taken to all men. And so that goes all the way back to the genealogies tracing the genealogies all the way back to Adam. I thought that was an interesting take. And according to Romans chapter 5, the sin nature is passed upon all men through the seed of the Father. And even in the virgin birth of Mary, the virginity of Mary when she conceived Jesus is important to the Christian faith, because if Jesus had been born any other way except through the virgin birth, he would have received the sin nature from his human father. But the virgin birth of Jesus Christ is important, not only in the Christmas story, because it's a talking point, but for our very salvation. We believe in the virgin birth of Jesus Christ because he would then, that would be the only way that he could be the sinless sacrifice for our sin, because he was outside of the sin line. And so some would say, well, the virgin, the term virgin applies to Mary just means that she's a young woman, but we believe even theologically that the virginity of Mary was important to the whole nature of sin not being passed to Jesus Christ. And so that's just an interesting little tidbit there. Hope that's a help to you. Tomorrow is December 9th. We're going to start talking about John the Baptist and Zacharias and all the events leading up to the birth of Jesus Christ. We'll see you then.